What is going on? Because the Bears, I guess they took questions for 11 minutes. They had the coach available for 11 minutes. Did you even get a question in, Brad? I thought it sounded like you didn't.
I had some technical difficulties, but that's all right.
Okay. Did you have a computer voice question? Is that what it was?
No.
I'm very curious, though, did you get the answers you needed? You know what I mean? Like, you look at that and you walk away feeling like there's more questions that haven't been answered than questions answered.
Yeah, although I don't know, you get 52 hung on you by the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
It's like a shooting gallery for Jared Goff. I don't know what he could have said yesterday that the thing would have ended and he would have said, yeah, well, that makes great sense. And really, there shouldn't be any reason to panic or anything of that nature. They've been, totally non-competitive the last 5 quarters, at least defensively, and then not good enough offensively to be in those games either. So there's work to be done. No one is going to sit around and feel sorry for them around the league.
Nope.
Like, nobody's going to push the pause button for them to figure out what's going on. And they've got a full week, a regular week this week, because they were coming off the short week for the Monday night game against the Vikings. He alluded to practicing hard, wanting to see competition in practice. All that's great. They've got to translate it to the field Sunday afternoon when they're in that Fox National primetime spot, or not primetime, but the 325 spot where a whole bunch of folks across the country are going to be seeing the Bears. And I don't know that they're ready for that kind of exposure, but it's going to be there for them anyway.
Brad, with Jaylon Johnson now out likely for the season, TJ Edwards out again, left the game with a hamstring re-injury, with both players either re-aggravating or leaving after coming back. How much are you questioning the Bears' process in allowing these players to return to the field maybe before they were ready, as it turns out?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I can understand people questioning that. I think Jaylon did a pretty good job of sort of shooting that down when he was on the station yesterday, right? And that's a risk with any soft tissue injury. And the Bears talked about having Jaylon ready for week 1. He wasn't. They had him out there for a while practicing. They ramped him up in practice. I can understand the questions on that, but I think people need to understand that stuff happens with a hamstring, with the groin, with the calf muscle, and that's where they find themselves right now. And I think, TJ's a veteran. He's probably being honest with the team as well. Like, those guys want to be out there, and it's just unfortunate. And really, Kyler Gordon's in the same boat. Hamstring injury back on, it was like August 5th, practicing after roster cutdowns just a little bit, and that thing flared up on him again as well. I would be surprised if he plays Sunday against the Cowboys.
This segment with Brad Biggs is sponsored by Estwing Professional Tools, made in the USA for over 100 years, estwing.com. We had a little bit of a conversation earlier this morning about the idea that that Dennis Allen, how do you fix something when you can't create pressure now as he would like to do because you can't cover on the back end, having lost your best defensive player in Jaylon Johnson, perhaps for the year. We'll get better clarity on that. But Kyler Gordon out, you got another a guy out. You drafted a player who can't play this year. I mean, you look at their secondary, and you wonder, well, how are you gonna get this fixed, and how are you going to make sure that guys aren't just running free down the field and catching touchdown passes?
Yeah, that's going to be a real challenge against Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Like C.D. Lamb, they've got some offensive explosion to them that is legitimate. Like that's a pretty good offensive football team. Now, I believe the Cowboys lost their center for a month and a half, 2 months. I think they're going to have to replace him this week. So they've got issues too. BB, he's the guy that went out. I think it's like 6 to 8 weeks. What I glanced at yesterday. So the Bears are going to have to find a way to capitalize. They should have been able to take advantage of youth and inexperience in the interior of the Lions defensive line this past week. Completely failed to do that. So they've got to come up with a way to get that done. And I don't know what the answers are. Dennis Allen might still be kind of trying to figure out exactly how he wants to go about it, but they should, with their personnel, they should be able to get better pressure than they have gotten. And you got to hope on the coverage on the back end standing up as well. Listen, the Cowboys aren't rushing the passer either. They're struggling in that regard. Dallas is they're not getting the T part of the hits principle done. They're not getting the takeaways. And for that matter, though, the Bears, I think, are -2. I'd have to look at it again. They also haven't done a whole lot in terms of takeaways.
Brad, desperate times call for desperate measures. So I wonder if the Bears, once Kyler Gordon is healthy, would consider playing him at the outside cornerback position. And then if not, are there any veterans out there at the cornerback store, as I know you like to refer to it, anybody out there that could actually come in and be serviceable as a cornerback who could cover?
I think you're just getting a guy if you're grabbing somebody on the street right now. Like they cut Trey Flowers from the practice squad last week, and he was a veteran. I believe he had a tryout in Indianapolis yesterday. I think the Colts had 5 or 6 defensive backs in for a tryout yesterday. The Bears did not have a tryout on Monday. That doesn't mean there won't be one today, and I don't know. But I don't think there's a solution in free agency. That is an interesting idea with Kyler Gordon. It would be real interesting to see what they do with him. And remember, back in the spring, Kyler Gordon was the guy that Dennis Allen was really excited about.
He name-checked him.
Because, he talked about doing more to have him involved on the defense, to have him on the field more. And his playing time's been very high as it is, but he talked about maybe some safety and some different things of that nature. You wonder if all that exotic stuff's probably going to have to be scaled back a little bit, considering all the practice time he's missed. But where they play Kyler Gordon is just something we can talk about until he's out on the practice field and he can stay on the practice field.
We should let everyone know this segment with Brad Biggs is sponsored by Estwing Professional Tools, made in the USA for over 100 years, estwing.com. And Brad, the coach made a point of saying that Jaylon Johnson's injury was not related to his other injury. So it's on the other side, I guess. So he has a groin injury, and now he has a groin injury that's on the other side, totally not related. The groin not related to the groin on either side of the body, I guess. I didn't understand it. He also said that the other 2 players that they brought back prematurely, or maybe they didn't, that T.J. Edwards is week to week, as is Gordon. And I mean, those guys had hamstring injuries. They played, and they are back with worse hamstring injury presumably. And then you got the groin injury that becomes a groin injury not related to the groin. I'm just curious, what are they doing? Are they asking questions as to why they brought people back only to see them go down?
Surely that's part of the process, and they'll take a look at it. I would point out that last training camp, they had a lot of groin injuries. Like it was something I think they wanted to take a look at because it felt like they were having too many of them. And you can go through cycles with these things, right? Where we've all been there when they had hamstring injuries spread like, you could get them through contact or something. It was insane. So this year, though, the number of groin injuries was greatly reduced. Now, Jaylon happens to have gotten one that was serious to start with, and as serious or more serious now, and that's a big problem for him. There's no question about it. But Kyler Gordon, he's been a soft tissue guy since he got here. Now, the thing you need to look at, though, is the games that he's missed. I think he's previous to this year, I believe he's only missed 2 or at most 3 games in the regular season because of a soft tissue injury. He's had others, like he had a concussion, he had a broken hand that they had to fix. But what he has missed is a lot of developmental time on the practice field in the off season, in training camp with soft tissue injuries, and now it's crept back into the regular season, and that's concerning. TJ Edwards, I wouldn't worry too much about. I think when he originally got hurt, I talked to you guys about his track record for durability, and a guy that's always out there. So this is just where the Bears are at, and no one's going to feel sorry for him. And there's teams with way worse injury situations out there, more volume. Heck, what do you think they're doing in Cincinnati this morning with this Joe Burrow situation?
Yeah, quarterback situation. But I think I would. The Bears have 3 of their best defensive players out. Yeah, I think it'd be hard to find a team decimated more than that, Brad. I mean, that's for another day.
But you got one guy that's possibly or likely out for the season. The other guys,
true. Okay, coming back.
Yeah, I would think it's a long. Yeah, there's 15 games still to play.
It's a long year. I want to ask you about what Ben Johnson said yesterday, because I think that we're learning a lot about him as a head coach and the tone he wants to set. They're 0-2. And it's how they lost as much as that they lost. They choked the fourth quarter in the first game. They really quit in the second half in the second game. And he comes in Monday and he talks about, well, we're going to find out about this team because we're going to practice hard and we're going to include people in game plan based on how hard they practice, which sounds great. And it's rah-rah and it's energetic. But I wonder, how does that go over in an NFL locker room? And who is he talking about specifically?
Well, listen, he better be talking about everybody, right? The notice is out now that you got to get after it on the practice field to get involved on the game field. It sounds like, and I think that's something you got to be a little careful with, because I agree with you. How does that go over in an NFL locker room? These guys go out there and they put in the work on the practice field. So it is clear he wants it to be intense on the practice field this week. And every coach has kind of got their own little thing. And I agree with you. We're sort of learning about him. And I think the players are probably learning as they go as well, because he's been supportive of them. He's told them that he believes in them, but to rando guess, is he making a point to this player or that player? I think that would be a little bit hazardous, and I wouldn't want to attempt to put names in the mouth of Ben Johnson.
Where is the Bears' next win? Ben Johnson's wondering where he can find it.
Yeah, I thought the Raiders would be a little more competitive last night.
Yeah. Especially with Tom Brady in the booth. Did you see that?
Calling plays.
How can he come to Chicago and talk to everybody in production meetings, and then
even via Zoom
they play him
even
a week
however
from
they
now.
want to ask any question that he asks,
yes.
I would stonewall it.
Well, why don't you just give him an answer that doesn't tell him a whole lot? They're particularly they are particularly good at that as it is, right?
Give Tom 11 minutes.
Like the idea that, I mean, well, remember the great fear back in January that Brady was going to work the Lions playoff game, and so that was going to give the Raiders this inside edge to hire Ben Johnson as the head coach.
Right.
Like that was a huge fear by some people. I think you got to give the Bears a little more credit that they're not going to share the blueprint for how to get the Lombardi trophy.
Maybe
back in
it's a legit conflict of interest. It is a huge conflict of interest.
No question a conflict of interest. But the idea that Tom's going to be able to put Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen and Declan Doyle and anyone else he wants in a position where he can just, get intel out of them. That is, you got to give a little more credit to those coaches for the Bears.
Yeah, I think they'll blurt it all out whenever they talk to him because they're totally intimidated. And I think that a guy that has been involved with the kind of gamesmanship that's going on in New England should not be allowed in the building or near the building. Or anyway, where do they get the next win? Or the first win?
I mean, I don't know who I'm going to pick yet this week.
Yeah,
because that Dallas defense right now, boy, did you see what Russell Wilson got done?
Russell cooked.
That's hard to believe.
He did
450, like 30 of 41 for 450. So
Flusy,
no Micah, no answers.
Flusy betrayed the Bears.
Yeah, Caleb could be in position to have a huge game. You just got to consider what's going on with that Dallas defense, and because what we saw in week 4 of the 2018 season was a false positive with that Mitch Trubisky game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, wow, you're going way back in the way back machine, Brad.
It's pretty funny.
It's legitimate. They had 5 touchdown passes in the first half. He had 6 touchdown passes for the game, and it was a static Bucs defense where the throws were there the whole game. Now, Mitch made them, but that was a horrendous Tampa defense, and what looked like a breakthrough was more of an anomaly. Caleb was better against the Lions, and it wasn't just maybe what we thought we saw. That's what Ben said he saw. So they're headed in the right direction. If this is a shootout ball game, can the Bears keep up? Because Dak Prescott's 2 years removed from being second in MVP voting. Like, he could still play at a high level. So I think this could be an entertaining game, and I just haven't gotten to the pick yet.
Yeah.
But
plenty of time for that. Good stuff, Brad.
Great. Hey, Bigsy, thank you, buddy. We'll talk to you again on Thursday, I believe.
Thanks, Brad.
Cheers, pal.
Have a great day, guys.
That's our guy, Brad Biggs. He's the football man of the Chicago Tribune. That's so funny. I remember that game. It did feel like a breakout game. Take advantage of it this week. Get a Caleb breakout game. Get him
one step at a time.
Get him his 450.
One step at a time.
Well, that's the only way you're going to win.
One step at a time.
You're having a hard time defending, as they are.
Yeah, I know.